Hi, my name is Chirag, and over spring break, I was granted the opportunity to travel to Thailand and study the Hindu and Buddhist influence within the country. Within the first few minutes after leaving the plane, the impact was already evident, as on the metro which took passengers to their baggage claim, there was a sign indicating the priority seating arrangement, which of course, monks were near the top of the list. After a full 24-hour journey, I finally made it to Bangkok, Thailand, where I stayed with my aunt. We got back pretty late, so we decided to start our journey tomorrow morning, but the view I slept to was nothing short of spectacular. I mean, look at this view. My first morning here, we made our way to the Art of Living Center, a non-profit organization founded by a guru named Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. They have a mission to uplift millions through the power of yoga, meditation, and mindfulness. The most notable technique is Sky, or Sudarshan Kriya Yoga, which may be familiar to some, as this nonprofit has reached the Babson campus through the name of Sky Happiness Retreat. I was fortunate enough to take the course with a teacher and a disciple of Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, and it was truly one of the most powerful experiences of my life. The center itself was located in a cozy and secluded area where they integrated themselves into a natural landscape, and it truly had a peaceful vibe to it. Here's a small video of me taking part in the Sudarshan Kriya course. After visiting the center, we started on our exploration to all the notable temples and shrines. These were the first two places I noticed the Hindu and Buddhist roots. Though videoing was not allowed inside on this one, the shrines were beautifully built, and as you can see, the temple is just an integrated part of the city and architecture. Even the names of businesses were of Hindu or Buddhist origins. Suanand, which stemmed from the Sanskrit word Anand, which means joy or bliss. Rama Jewelry, derived from Lord Rama, a Hindu deity. True Spear Infinite Knowledge, a clear attribution to Buddhism. Even Sri Ganesh, another Hindu deity reference. Many historic or religious sites within Thailand have origins from Hinduism. Ayutthaya, for example, was named after an auspicious region in India called Ayodhya, considered to be the birthplace of Lord Rama. In Thailand's version of Ayodhya, they house ancient temples and shrines of Lord Buddha, and various sites for monks around the area as well. Though this site has become a tourist attraction today, hundreds of years ago it was considered the political and economic capital of the Kingdom of Siam. Most of what you see here looks like ruins, and that's because it is. During the Burmese invasion, many historical and religious sites were burned or destroyed, specifically those in Ayodhya, as it served as the capital. You can see these effects through the statues where many parts are missing, some without a head, some without a torso, some without arms. Yet, they remain standing to this day, and serve as a reminder of the past wars while also demonstrating the resilience. While you see many statues of the Buddha here, it is important to note that most Buddhist philosophies do not align with idol worship. Instead, these statues are built as a sign of respect for the Buddha and his life-changing teachings. Just before we left, we entered a store to look around, and even within the books they were selling, the mix between Hindu, Buddhist, and Thai culture is extremely evident. There are many temples like this in the city of Ayodhya, such as the Wat Mahatat, displaying the ancient architecture and the effects of the invasion. Truly a remarkable sight to see in person. Here, you can see another clear display of the influence of the Buddha, with multiple shrines, a huge statue that will be shown on later, and various monks teaching the lessons of the Buddha in their lectures. But what are those lessons? In fact, what is Buddhism, what is Hinduism, and how did both these faiths mix into the Thai culture and overall society? Hinduism and Buddhism are the two major categories of the karmic faiths. These religions subscribe to the theory of karma, or the universal law of cause and effect. Karma itself means deed or action, meaning that each action that we take will have a consequence, whether good or bad, either in this lifetime or the next. And that the situation of your present self is the accumulation of all your karmas, good or bad, from this lifetime and your lifetimes before. We know it as, quote-unquote, what goes around comes around, which isn't necessarily wrong, but it doesn't represent the whole idea. I mentioned previous lifetimes before, which may confuse some. What does that mean? Well, both religions also subscribe to the idea of reincarnation in a somewhat different manner. In Hinduism, it stems from the philosophy of the quote-unquote eternal soul. The belief is that the soul, or Atma in Sanskrit, is eternal and never dies. It is only the body that dies, and the soul reincarnates into a new body. A simple way that some gurus explain this is, as you change clothes every morning, the soul sheds the body and wears a new one every lifetime, and the place or situation that soul is incarnated to is decided by the karmas of their previous lifetimes. In Buddhism, there is a concept of skandha, which are the 5 elements that make up a being's physical and mental existence. Still, Buddhists hold to the idea of a quote-unquote essential nature, which is something more than our physical selves. Some say this is similar to the idea of a soul, but there is a slight difference. These two pillars are core to both ideologies, but where do they differ? While both the religions aim to reach the same end goal, which is liberation from the cycle of death and rebirth, called moksha in Hinduism and nirvana in Buddhism, their methodologies differ. While the Hindus have various paths towards this goal, the Buddhists stick to the quote-unquote eightfold path as taught by the Buddha, which emphasizes taking the middle path, away from all extremes and focusing on good deeds with good intentions as well as meditation. I was actually able to speak briefly to a Buddhist monk in one of the temples we visited. Though there was a small language barrier, as I could not speak Thai and his English was limited, he still conveyed his ideas across to me. After I told him I was a Hindu, he lit up and said that Buddhism and Hinduism are one and the same, which surprised me. While both these religions have various methodologies of reaching the ultimate goal, the division between the two does not come with the cost of conflict. Instead, they are accepting of each other's paths, which I thought was beautiful. And, as with all major religions, the concept and discussion of God is inevitable. But, for these two faiths in particular, I have noticed there has been some misconception regarding their beliefs. Starting with Buddhism, though they do not deny the existence of God, the Buddha preaches that it takes oneself to achieve liberation. Nobody else can do it for you, not even God. Thus, it is not an atheistic religion, rather, there is lesser dependency upon a God to achieve the ultimate goal, which is nirvana. Meanwhile, Hinduism has been characterized as a polytheistic religion, an observation that might seem obvious at a surface level, but once you dive deeper, you understand there is more. In this faith, there is a belief in Brahma, which is the ultimate reality or the supreme God. This ultimate reality is what the Hindus believe spreads across the entire universe in every nook and cranny and is formless and indivisible. All the deities and gods that have been associated with Hinduism are just various manifestations of this ultimate reality because humans cannot comprehend the infinite. Therefore, while Hinduism is not polytheistic, it may not be monotheistic either, as deities are still worshipped. Regardless of its religious categories, its teachings are clear and, along with Buddhism, have impacted the lives of billions. With all the ideological components cleared up now, how did both of these religions actually make their way into modern-day Thailand? It was through religious expansions of King Ashoka of the Mauryan Empire, who spread the ideas of Buddhism, and the Khmer Empire, who spread Hinduism. Over time, both of these faiths grew together through the citizens and eventually became a new overlapped religion and identity, which may not have a name yet, but the phenomenon is definitely present. With the growth and expansion of both these faiths, a new Hindu-Buddhist culture was fostered for hundreds of years and continues to thrive today. Now, within the country, you can see the manifestation of these overlapping religions through the architecture, the mannerisms of the citizens, and even how they live their daily lives. Thailand has the beautiful mix of the two karmic faiths that have been flawlessly intertwined into their society. The depictions and illustrations of Hinduism, paired with the ideologies and teachings of the Buddha, have encapsulated the hearts and minds of all Thai citizens.
Thank you so much to the Glavin Global Fellows and the donors who allowed me to go on this trip and experience this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and help me explore my religion, my own faith, and as well as another faith on my own terms. This would not have been able to happen without you guys, and I'm very, very grateful. And to all the students watching this, I really, really recommend you take this opportunity that we have at Babson of the Glavin office, and take this grant, apply for this grant, and do what you can with it. Pursue your passions, pursue what you're interested in, and especially on a multicultural level. This was a great experience, and I'm very grateful for it. Thank you so much.